gosh, it's been a long time coming. All right, is this thing recording? Hey y'all, Welcome back to another episode of Blessons. I'm your host, Bree, and I know it's been a while. And I'm sorry it has taken me this long to record an update video. Before I jump in and fill y'all in on where your girl has been, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. I honestly think I took for granted the amount of people who genuinely are invested and care about my journey. And I'm so overwhelmed by the love and the prayer that people have been pouring over my husband and I during this very difficult and challenging times in our lives. And I didn't want to go further without taking a moment to just give y'all your flowers and say thank you for truly showing up for us and just encouraging us throughout this season. With that being said, I want to give y'all a recap of how this podcast started, where I am now, and what I would like to see come out of this podcast moving forward. So, Blessons was birthed in a very dark season of my life where I was kind of forced to slow down, reflect, and dig deep to find the blessings that were hidden in some of the toughest lessons that I'm still walking in. Hence the name Blessons that I made up. And my hope was that it would encourage me and increase my faith as I go through these trials and just be encouraged. So with that being said, I started my podcast sharing my infertility journey, which has been short of easy, but definitely a blessing in the midst of it. I believe in our last episode, we spoke about going through our IUI journey and what that would look like for us and the challenges with that as well. And to give you an update, sadly, both cycles of IUI that we underwent were unsuccessful. The first time I got we're so sorry to tell you you're not pregnant. Oh, the gut-wrenching feeling I had. And I was devastated because I'm like, okay, so maybe we needed a little bit of help. This is what we're doing. And dang, another disappointment. And I said, okay, let's do it again. And so we went again for a second cycle. And again, we got a negative pregnancy test. But this time was different because I was so motivated to keep moving past all these disappointments and negative results. And I said, you know what? Fine. If it's not now, then we will wait until God's perfect timing. But I still want to make sure that there's nothing wrong with my body. And so I believe I shared in a previous episode, and if you haven't seen them, definitely go back and check them out. But I believe I shared in a previous episode, they did some tests on me, and they found that I had several polyps in my uterus. And those are essentially just cysts, right? And for those of you who may not know, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS for short, over 7 years ago. And so it is very common for women who have PCOS to develop cysts, not only in their reproductive organs, but also throughout your body. Like I recently found out I had polyps in my nose. I'm like, what? Long story short, I could go on about days with my health these past couple of months. But anyways, they found out that I had these polyps, and they realized that these polyps were what was causing my heavy periods, miscarriages, negative pregnancy tests. And our doctor sat us down and pretty much told us, listen guys, we can go through a bunch of other cycles of IUI until we get our results. But unfortunately, because of the lining of my uterus, the polyps, PCOS, we found out my husband also had some issues. I believe our doctor said that there was only a 5% chance that we would be able to conceive naturally. So at this point, she gave us two options that we had to face. One that we had to get done regardless was to remove my polyps. And of course, we went through that process, and I can maybe post another video explaining that process for women who are interested in learning more about polyps, what that process looks like, and who they should consult regarding that, and if they need to undergo those procedures. But besides the point, she gave us that option and then pretty much told us to ensure that we get a full and safe pregnancy. Our best option was going through IVF. And for those of you who have been following me along this journey, even before my podcast, you know that I have struggled with the idea of IVF simply because religion, one, right? And that's something that I have gone through therapy to work through. But outside of that, it was struggling with the idea of whether or not I was taking control over God's natural order and going through IVF. And that was something that I had to process separately with my husband, and God really guided me through that, gave me wisdom and counseled me through it all. So I won't share too much on it because I know there's a lot of opinions and thoughts, and I'm not getting into a debate. So I struggled with that idea of that being my only option. But if I'm being honest with you, that really was. I've been struggling with infertility for over 7 years, and I'm not getting any younger. And my desire to have a child has increasingly I have yearned more for a child now in my life than I ever have before. And it's not because, it's funny because my therapist asked me this question, like, why do you want a child so bad? It's not to fill a void. It's not to heal childhood wounds or whatever. Thank God I'm not in that place. It's really, I strongly believe that I have been called to be a mother. And the visions and the dreams and the ideas that I get from being a mom truly feel like just something that I cannot explain. It's a desire that I long for. And it's something that I've truly been praying for. So it's not something I take lightly. I truly believe that God is going to bless me with a child that He will entrust to me and to my husband to raise, to be a God-fearing child, of course. I want my child to be whoever God has called them to be, but also to be a trailblazer. I want my child to be unapologetically themselves and feel so loved because they are already. They haven't even arrived yet, and my children are so loved. That is such an honor and truly a blessing to witness and experience, and I can't wait for my children to experience that. So with that being said, the latest update with my life is that we ended up going through IVF. We did. After all the battling and tug of war, we both finally decided that this was probably the best option for us. And thankfully, it turned out really successful. Oh my gosh, we're getting so emotional talking about it already. So I'm going to share a separate video explaining the journey and the process of IVF, because that is a whole other conversation. And what I went through is not something that the medical field truly prepares you for. Yes, they tell you about the mood swings and all these things, but they don't tell you how intense the bloating is. Oh my goodness, I will make a whole other episode about that. But unfortunately, my recovery was not ideal. So leading up to, and again, this is why it needs its own podcast, but I just wanted to give y'all an update of where I've been and share a little bit about what the future looks like, because honestly, you all have been on this journey with me and you deserve a little update. So I digress. My recovery was not ideal because, again, my body overproduced and my body was fatigued, to say the least. After my egg retrieval, I was sent home. And for those of you who know, when you go under anesthesia, you're tired. So I took the best nap of my life. I think I fell asleep for like 5 hours. And when I woke up, I felt pretty normal for the most part. I went to go use the bathroom. And when I stood up, I don't remember what happened, because next thing you know, I'm on the floor. There's blood everywhere. And my husband is trying to calm me down. And I am processing in real time that I recognize I just fainted. We don't know what caused it. It could be the fact that maybe my blood sugar dropped, the amount of pressure that my body went under, and just a side effect of the anesthesia. We don't know. I ended up splitting my chin, had to get 5 stitches under my chin. All while being in a lot of pain in my abdominal area because I just had 99 eggs retrieved for me. So it was a tough journey to recovery. And oh my gosh, I forgot to mention, I ended up getting super sick during my cycle. And for women who go through IVF, they treat you just as if you were a woman that is pregnant. You can't take over-the-counter medications because it can, cause all these side effects to you and also to your baby. So I was just doing a lot of home remedies to help me get through. And I thought I was getting better, but turns out I had pneumonia. So again, oh my gosh, the things that I went through. So I share that all to say that up to date, we are so blessed and thankful for the outcome of our IVF journey. Unfortunately, we've been hit with another hurdle, but it's okay. We're going to remain hopeful. We're going to trust in God's power to fully heal my body. And I want to be even as bold to say that regardless of the doctor note that I received today, I want to believe in supernatural healing to the point that by the next time I go to this doctor's appointment, whatever they found in this ultrasound would have been miraculously healed and dissolved, because it's creating a hindrance for our next step of our IVF journey. But also, there's a blessing in all of this. And it's that my body overproduced. We're blessed abundantly with the outcome. And my body needs rest. I have gone through a lot these past couple of months. My health has gone through a lot these past couple of months, and I'm still healing. And I want to be fully healed, fully in the right place to receive the blessing that God has for us. So that's where I'm at, y'all. I thank you again for being so patient in my inconsistency, because unfortunately, I've been through so much. I didn't have the time or the energy to record another podcast. So now that I've given you an update of what's been going on in my life and where I am today, I want to share a vision that I have of where I would love to see this podcast moving forward. I really want to highlight the blessings in all of it. And not just in my fertility journey, but also in my work, my career, my marriage, friendship, you name it. There's a blessing in all of the seasons that we walk through. So I want to combine the two worlds that I live in. And that's my career, which is foundation of development. I am a cheerleader of development, both professionally and personally. I love growing. I love learning. And that's something that I'm passionate about. And that's something I would love to bring to this space and to help people develop also in their areas. Something that I am working towards, I don't think I've even shared this on this podcast. I am earning a master's degree in human resource management because that's the field that I work in. And my goal after that is to earn my internationally certified credentials in coaching. And I would love to bring all of those together while still being able to talk about faith and hope and all these great things, because that encompasses all of who I am. And I'm realizing in this new season of my life that I want to be fully who I am in all the spaces that I walk through, in all the people that I surround myself in. And this podcast really has helped me build that community and has helped me just have a space to be vulnerable and authentic and share life struggles, you know? And I really look at everyone from a whole person perspective. So everything you deal with on a personal level will affect every other area of your life, financially, spiritually, your career. And so if we can talk about these difficult conversations and encourage one another and partner with each other along the ride, I would have succeeded in life. I would be able to close my eyes and rest in the Lord's presence, knowing that I have fulfilled my calling. And that's really what this is. I want to share my calling with you all. And I just want to cheerlead you on in the seasons of life that you're walking through and encourage you and love on you and pray with you. So with that being said, I may not be consistent. I cannot promise you when the next episode will come out, but I will tell you that there is definitely a revamp happening. And I'm so excited about the potential and the opportunities that are going to come with this podcast. I would love to have more people on my podcast. I know people loved the episodes that my husband was on and was able to see a completely different side of him. But I would love to have friends on, families on, to share their stories too about some of their toughest lessons that they learned and the blessings that they received from it. So thank you all again for your love and your support. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to this channel. And y'all, I promise you, until next time, peace.